everybody, and welcome. Today, I have a special guest, an amazing producer, songwriter, instrumentalist, performer, artist himself. Just incredible. He's a dear friend, and he's so talented. Please welcome everybody, Mr. Shayon Daniels.
Hey, thanks, Joe. This is too nice. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're more than welcome, my friend. You are more than welcome. So much has happened between when I first met you until today. I mean, there's been a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
So now what we'll do is we'll splice that other stuff and we'll put that on the front. So let me get back to my one of my questions was when you're working. This is one of the questions I had for you. When you're working with somebody, have you ever had a session where, you know, it wasn't jiving, or you guys weren't coming up with anything that you thought was salvageable, or maybe it's the wrong energy or it's the wrong artist? Has that happened to you? And if so, what do you do?
Yeah, no, that's great. It definitely happens like from time to time. I remember once there was a session with this writer, and for whatever reason, we just weren't like on the same page.
Yeah.
And you know, it's kind of like all you can kind of do is just like call the session when it needs to be called. You know, like if you can be like, you know, hey, you know, maybe like we can revisit this or something like that. You know, like trying to do it as like amicably as possible, I think is the move. And you know, and that could literally be like you said, for any reason. Like sometimes people are like maybe not in the space to write that day too, and so sometimes when that happens, like just talking helps too, like if it's there. But then sometimes like it doesn't work creatively, you know. And then you gotta, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like music is supposed to be something that's like supposed to be fun and all these different things, and you never want to like just sit in a thing because you feel like I'm supposed to be in the session, I'm supposed to come out with something, so I'm gonna force us to sit here. Like you don't want to, you know, like let it be whatever it's gonna be and take the pressure off of it. I
like
think
trying to force a circle into a square.
yeah, it's just like if it's not working, it's not working today. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
Let's try it tomorrow, or let's do it next week, and maybe you'll
right.
be in a better. Yeah, because sometimes you're not in the right headspace. It could
Yeah.
be like, you know, that, you know, your mind is heavy with something. Maybe you're worried about, you know, whatever, and your mind's not really on what you're doing at the moment. You know, that happens.
Yeah, it's hard too. Like even sometimes, like you know, sometimes we'll do like 3 or sessions a day or more or whatever kind of thing. And you could have like a late session after having done a bunch of sessions before. Maybe you're just tired, or who knows? Like maybe you need to eat. I don't know. But it's just like trying to honor where you are in the moment, I think, is like the thing. And not like you never want someone to feel like uncomfortable or whatever. So just trying to be respectful.
Sure.
Thing, you know.
Well, especially as a producer, because you're trying to embolden the artist to feel secure.
Yeah.
And to feel like, you know, if you have you know, you said something wonderful earlier before we started part 2. You were saying something about you feeling like sometimes like, oh, I'm not good enough, or I'm insecure. Like I've had this conversation with even people like Lindy in the interview I had with Lindy, and she was like, I said, what, you know, what's one of the biggest things that you know, deal with sometimes? And she says, you know, when people think because I'm a certain age or because of this, like they already have a preconceived notion that I can't work with them or I can't write with them. And she says, and that makes me feel insecure. And so even people with huge Billboard top 20 for the last 22 years, even them people feel that way. So it's a comforting notion to know that when we have those feelings, we're not alone by any means. Like every single every single human being on the planet feels like that, no matter how successful or not successful they are. So there's comfort in that feeling that we're not alone in those feelings sometimes. And
Yeah.
it really, it's we're not alone. We're not the only one. We're not superhuman. Like, all these other people that we admire aren't superhuman. Like they're just like us. They put their pants on one leg at a time. And
Well, yeah, because I think it's always like a moving target, right? It's always like maybe it starts off being I want to eventually like just be good at this thing, and then it's like
Mhm.
I want to be good enough for someone to pay me, and then it's like I want someone to pay me enough to do this, and then it's like I want to get a cut on someone signed to a major label. Then it's like
Right.
I want to get the single for someone who signed to a major label. Then it's like I want the single to chart on Billboard. Then it's like
Right.
I want it to chart from the top 50 to the top 20. Then it's like I want a top 10 record. Then it's like I want a number one record. Then it's like
Right.
now that I've had this number one record, everyone expects everything I do to be really great. How do I keep it up? There's always like a new thing,
Always.
it's always, and I think that's probably a special kind of pressure too, just from other people I've talked to. It's like when you
Yeah.
become known for doing something and like having huge success, then it's just like, can you do it again?
Yeah.
So I think it's just like finding a way to be okay with yourself and like, no, I guess everyone always talks about reminding yourself of like the why, but I do, even though it feels like a little like buzzwordy, I think it is
Yeah.
true. It's like reminding yourself of like why you do the thing in the first place while you're, and reminding yourself that you're more than just the work you create. You're more than just the things you contribute.
Yeah. You're a whole human being. You have
Yeah.
you have all these sides to you, or that have nothing to do with music or creation.
Yeah.
Just day-to-day life. I got to feed the dog. I got to walk the dog. I got to take
Right.
the trash out. The my bed
Exactly.
my kitchen's a wreck. I need to
Right.
you know I haven't worked out in 4 days because I've been working on mixes. Oh no, what
Right.
like
Exactly.
all these things. And it's really hard to keep everything, to juggle all 8 plates up in the air every day. It's just
Well, yeah, and it's like as creatives, you on one hand need that thing that like that questions and that wonders like, could this thing be better? Could I be better? Could I whatever? Could I? Because that's the thing that helps you improve. But then also that thing unchecked could really turn into just like almost a self-sabotaging like emotion and like outlet.
mm,
That energy doesn't do any good for anyone. And it's like I'm not a person who believes in like pretending like you don't have those thoughts or pretending like you don't feel that way sometimes because it's
yeah.
like maybe not glamorous. But with that being said, I think like we as creatives can be more productive when we really believe in ourselves.
Oh, absolutely.
But like
Absolutely.
having those doubts are the things that make us human, and that's the thing that makes you really good in a room. Like you go in a room with an artist and they tell you their own worries and fears and things they've been through, and it could be completely different, but because you've actually felt your own version of that thing, you can really connect with that person and make something incredible, like
Right.
that. So it's like all the things that we are like afraid of are the things that make us great too. And I think just reminding yourself that you're more than just the thing, I think is important too.
Absolutely.